Well, I think that I've had a really wonderful career, and I've seen so many different sides of what it means to be in bands, to tour, to be in the business, to make the music that's interesting to you, to work within a band, how to relate to your intellectual property, how to protect yourself. I've made many mistakes in all those fields too. And you can't really learn these things in a school or by going online. They're really, you have to just go through it. So in the process, I've learned so much, and I enjoy talking about it with people who are interested because it can inspire them.
Yeah.
So that's I feel it's in some ways I feel it's a blessed responsibility. Well, playing the guitar was always a full-time gig, but going from being a young teenager a teenager in a music school to being on stage with Frank Zappa, that was quite a leap, and it had a lot of responsibilities that I didn't know about, that I learned. Like I was totally comfortable with my responsibilities to Frank. There was no real challenge because he would give me music and I would learn it. And I loved learning it, and the weirder and harder and more eclectic it was, the more I enjoyed it. There was nothing, I was doing that in college.
Yeah.
But being around real musicians who instantaneously are aware of what's needed, and not being a guy in a garage playing rock and roll, where if I want to do a song or something, it's my prerogative. That's a big challenge. It was a good learning experience, but the real challenge for me was going on tour.
Really?
Yeah, I was young, and I got it in my head when I was very young that if you become famous, you go insane. So I always had a fear of being famous or being on tour. I didn't see it as this big exciting thing. I saw it was just wrought with anxiety and fear, because I thought, and I never wanted to be famous, I just wanted to play my guitar, because I was actually afraid of what would happen. This is the stuff that we believe this shit in our head. When you hear stuff when you're a kid, it's really hard to, and some things you hear, you just say, nah, I don't believe that, that's bullshit. But some things, they creep in there and they wreak havoc, and then you become a self-fulfilled prophecy. So when I went on tour with Frank, it was really difficult. And it wasn't anything that Frank was or anybody was doing, it was just here,
In your head.
Yeah, but I got over it, and then I eventually learned to really love touring and really love traveling.